When we started writing our thoughts down on paper, it opened up endless possibilities. Ideas could grow beyond the borders of the mind, and it changed the world. Somewhere along the way, we lost touch with paper, distracted by devices made for every purpose except for thinking and focus. On edge, waiting for the next notification. But what if new technology didn't pull us away from paper, but brought us closer to it? Listen. That's not paper. It's the sound of the new Remarkable Paper Pro, rewriting the future. A paper tablet with a true color ink display, gentle reading light, and unheard of tactility. With digital features for taking notes, thinking, and organizing, without any distractions. Paper is about to change the world again. Get your paper tablet at remarkable.com today. When we started writing our thoughts down on paper, it opened up endless possibilities. Ideas could grow beyond the borders of the mind, and it changed the world. Somewhere along the way, we lost touch with paper, distracted by devices made for every purpose except for thinking and focus. On edge, waiting for the next notification. But what if new technology didn't pull us away from paper, but brought us closer to it? Listen. That's not paper. It's the sound of the new Remarkable Paper Pro, rewriting the future. A paper tablet with a true color ink display, gentle reading light, and unheard of tactility. With digital features for taking notes, thinking, and organizing, without any distractions. Paper is about to change the world again. Get your paper tablet at remarkable.com today.
Welcome! In the Lord of the Rings podcast, we wander the world of JRR Tolkien by exploring the foundational epic stories from the deep past of Middle-earth. If you enjoyed Tolkien's books, or maybe Peter Jackson's movies, or perhaps you're excited for Amazon Studios' new series, The Rings of Power, and you want to dive deeper into the rich world of Middle-earth, then listen and subscribe. Magavainian, fellow wanderers. In a hole in the ground, there lived a hobbit. Tolkien's simple opening line to his book, The Hobbit, wasn't merely the first sentence to a children's story of adventure, bravery, and dragons. This sentence is the first step in our own adventure of wandering Middle-earth. That unassuming yet provocative line opens to us a much wider world, to the epic struggle of good versus evil, and of light overcoming the shadow. Today, we'll examine the origins of Tolkien's first published work of fiction, The Hobbit. Let's wander. Today, we know Tolkien as the master, the grandfather of high fantasy, with a variety of published fiction and non-fiction works, whose lasting influence has inspired generations of authors, illustrators, and movie makers, not to mention the profound impact on readers of all ages. But let's go back in time to 1937. In May, the Hindenburg blew up. In November, Japan and Germany would announce their alliance known as the Axis, and just 2 years later, the world would be ravaged by World War II. At the time, Tolkien was 45. All 4 of his children had been born. A few years earlier, he had contributed to the Oxford English Dictionary. Around this time, he was a professor at Oxford. While grading exams, he noticed a blank page in one of his students' examination books. For whatever reason, he put his pen to paper and wrote, quote, "In a hole in the ground, there lived a hobbit." Little did he know of the adventure he had just embarked on. According to TolkienSociety.org, quote, "In typical Tolkien fashion, he then decided he needed to find out what a hobbit was, what sort of a hole it lived in, why it lived in a hole, and etc. From this investigation grew a tale that he told to his younger children. By 1936, he had a draft. When completed, the manuscript found its way to Stanley Unwin, chairman of the publishing firm Allen & Unwin. What was the deciding factor for The Hobbit to be published? Unwin gave it to his 10-year-old son, Raynor, asking him to read it and then write a review. His son's take on the manuscript? Let me read it to you in full. Quote, "Bilbo Baggins was a hobbit who lived in his hobbit hole and never went for adventures. At last, Gandalf the wizard and his dwarves persuaded him to go. He had a very exciting time, fighting goblins and wargs. At last they got to the Lonely Mountain. Smaug, the dragon, who guards it, is killed, and after a terrific battle with the goblins, he returned home rich." So far, so good. A highly accurate summary of the whole book. Let's keep going. Quote, "This book, with the help of maps, does not need any illustrations. It is good and should appeal to children between the ages of 5 and 9. That's it. That short review, written by a publisher's 10-year-old son, was enough for The Hobbit to be published. I, for one, am grateful for Rayner's review. Imagine if it hadn't been so positive. Would we have ever been able to wander Middle-earth? What a darker place literature would be without Tolkien's tales. The Hobbit was published in 1937 and has been on recommended reading lists for decades. The readers loved it and begged Tolkien for more stories about hobbits. But a major revision happened in the second edition. For the plot to work in The Lord of the Rings, some changes were made to the 5th chapter, Riddles in the Dark, where Bilbo finds the ring and banters with Gollum. In the original version, Gollum bets the ring on winning the riddle game. After Bilbo wins, he can't find it, and instead shows Bilbo the way out. What a courteous and kind Gollum that must have been. Changes were made to show that the One Ring was evil and had been corrupting Gollum for centuries. What a drastic character change that is for Gollum. But could you imagine a kinder, gentler Gollum? It simply doesn't fit. Now, let's examine the title. You're probably thinking, how much insight can be gained from a simple 2-word title such as The Hobbit? The answer is, that's not the full title. The full title actually is The Hobbit, or There and Back Again. If that's a surprise, I remind you of Bilbo's opening words as he is writing in his book at Bag End at the beginning of the Fellowship of the Ring movie. Quote, "There and Back Again, A Hobbit's Tale by Bilbo Baggins." And there's a little insight in the first paragraph of the prologue in the Fellowship of the Ring book, where we learn that Bilbo's book was published at large to the world as The Hobbit, but Bilbo called it himself, quote, "There and Back Again," since it told of his journey into the East and his return. As far as titles go, this was a brilliant stroke by Tolkien. Again, imagine a world without the Lord of the Rings books or movies, and you had never heard of a Hobbit. Suddenly, this book from an Oxford professor hits the shelves, and everybody seems to be talking about it. The Hobbit? What is a Hobbit? What a strange word. And where is there? Where did the Hobbit travel to, and why is it important that he came back again? These sorts of questions are what I imagine were passing through people's minds. Not only was it a great marketing move, but it revealed Tolkien's approach to writing fiction. Tolkien played the part of omniscient narrator, but his writing philosophy was much more like recording true stories from characters who manifested themselves to him. I'm not saying that Tolkien was delusional by any means, hearing voices or seeing things, but rather his approach to writing is to be the recorder of ancient events, events that are true in and of themselves, whether he was the author or not. That sort of separation, I think, is somewhat unique to Tolkien, and is a major contributor to the lasting impact of his tales. They have a ring of truth to them because they feel like ancient history. Before we close out today, I have one more bit of history for you. In the beginnings of World War II, Tolkien was tagged to be a codebreaker, mostly because of his expertise in Germanic languages. Though trained, he was dismissed before he actually was able to do any codebreaking. But Tolkien's love of languages and his skill with linguistic puzzles is highlighted on page 1 of The Hobbit. We'll get to that right after this break. We're not done yet. If you like this episode, please leave a review and share with your friends. And remember to subscribe if you haven't already. We'll be right back.
When we started writing our thoughts down on paper, it opened up endless possibilities. Ideas could grow beyond the borders of the mind, and it changed the world. Somewhere along the way, we lost touch with paper, distracted by devices made for every purpose except for thinking and focus. On edge, waiting for the next notification. But what if new technology didn't pull us away from paper, but brought us closer to it? Listen. That's not paper. It's the sound of the new Remarkable Paper Pro, rewriting the future. A paper tablet with a true color ink display, gentle reading light, and unheard of tactility. With digital features for taking notes, thinking, and organizing, without any distractions. Paper is about to change the world again. Get your paper tablet at remarkable.com today. When we started writing our thoughts down on paper, it opened up endless possibilities. Ideas could grow beyond the borders of the mind, and it changed the world. Somewhere along the way, we lost touch with paper, distracted by devices made for every purpose except for thinking and focus. On edge, waiting for the next notification. But what if new technology didn't pull us away from paper, but brought us closer to it? Listen. That's not paper. It's the sound of the new Remarkable Paper Pro, rewriting the future. A paper tablet with a true color ink display, gentle reading light, and unheard of tactility. With digital features for taking notes, thinking, and organizing, without any distractions. Paper is about to change the world again. Get your paper tablet at remarkable.com today.
Page 1 of The Hobbit has a title, but I actually don't know what it is. It's written in runes. Runes, Tolkien tells us on that page, quote, were old letters originally used for cutting or scratching on wood, stone, or metal, and so were thin and angular. Using ancient runes on page 1 gives credence to the first line of the page, quote, this is a story of long ago. And because it's a story of long ago, Tolkien felt the need to explain the origin of the word orc that he used in the story of The Hobbit. Quote, orc is not an English word. It is actually the word that hobbits used to describe those creatures. But because this tale is a translation, sometimes the word goblin is also used. Hence, orc and goblin are virtually synonymous, at least from this note on page 1 of The Hobbit. But returning to the runes, Tolkien explains how to use them. Here are his instructions. Quote, if the runes on Thror's map are compared with the transcriptions into modern letters, the alphabet adapted to modern English can be discovered, and the above runic title also read. I love a good puzzle. Now you go figure it out. I forbid you to Google it. You must look at Thror's map and read Gandalf's translation in Chapter 1 and Elrond's translation of the Moon Runes in Chapter 3. Figure it out for yourself. Oh, and the chart of runes in the appendix to The Lord of the Rings won't help you either. You're on your own, with the text of The Hobbit as your guide. I actually just stopped writing this episode so I could go decipher the runes, and I was tempted to Google it halfway through, but I persisted and figured it out, and it was immensely satisfying. Next time, we will embark on an adventure as we break down the first chapter of JRR Tolkien's The Hobbit, or There and Back Again. Thanks for wandering Middle-earth with me today. My friends, if you enjoyed this episode, let me know by subscribing, leaving a review, and sharing with your friends. Follow me on Facebook or Instagram at Lore of the Rings Podcast. For feedback on the show, please email me using the link in the show notes. Until next Thursday, remember, not all those who wander are lost.
Thanks for selling your car to Carvana. Here's your check.
Whoa, when did I get here?
What do you mean?
I swear it was just moments ago that I accepted a great offer from Carvana online. I must have time traveled to the future.
It was just moments ago. We do same-day pickup. Here's your check for that great offer.
It is the future.
It's the present and just the convenience of Carvana. Sorry to blow your mind.
It's all good. Happens all the time.
Sell your car the convenient way to
Carvana.
Pickup times may vary and fees may apply.
If you're a podcast host, listen up, this one's for you. My name is Allie Jackson. I'm the host of Finding Mr. Height, a dating and relationship podcast that I've been doing for 4 years now, sharing my positive and practical approach to dating that's built on my own life experience. And I wanted to share another experience that I've had, my secret behind monetizing my show. It's called Red Circle, and I was just telling my colleague about how much I love their platform. With Red Circle, not only am I getting a seamless hosting experience, but I also love the support I receive in ad sales. It's not just typical ad sales either. It's targeted opportunities based on my show and my life. And the platform is super simple. You just set your preferences and Red Circle matches you with sponsors that align with your show. You can vet every opportunity and their platform gives you great analytics. More recently too, my Red Circle team has brought me opportunities outside of my podcast on social media to really augment the podcast partnerships, bring them full circle. I just can't recommend them enough. If you want to give it a try, go to redcircle.com to get your free trial. That's redcircle.com for a free trial.